Patrick Rooney, oldschoolus.com. Natural health, success, and freedom. I wanted to talk about something I've been thinking about for a long time, and it's been kind of bothering me. And I wanted to get some solution to it. I don't have a solution to it, so I'm going to put some of this information out today. Maybe you have a solution to some of this information, but I would like to know. So I've been into the raw food movement for a long time. I've been into health and fitness since I was young. I got interested probably, I hate to even say how long ago, but probably at least 30 years ago in raw food movement, and experimented with it some, did some of it, found some good results with it, and had some bad results too. I did have some issues with my teeth. I lost some teeth, unfortunately. I can't necessarily blame that completely on the raw food movement because my teeth are very close together. And when I eat raisins and dates and things like that, and I do like those foods, they can get stuck in between and that can start rotting the teeth out. So I understand that, and that could be more of my issue. However, I have talked to friends of mine and I have found out and looked on the internet and so forth and found out that I'm not the only one, that a lot of other people have had issues with teeth too, losing teeth through eating vegan or raw foods. And so there's definitely been a question about that. I've seen people who have done very well on it, at least in a short term. Of course, people can do very well on diets in short terms anyway. They may be eating a junk food diet and then just kind of clean out through raw foods or vegan foods or something like that. But the question is, the long term. What happens in the long term? That's when things would start to show up if you're not getting the right minerals and vitamins and things. Do you have enough vitamin D? Do you have enough B12? Do you have enough phosphorus and calcium for your teeth and all sorts of things? I know that you can meet most of these requirements through a vegan or raw food diet. How much you need to supplement is another question. I don't really know, but really we're looking at long term here, and I think the jury may still be out. There's a lot of people that I used to follow and reading their books and their materials in the raw food movement, raw food vegan, I should say, who have, it looks like, disappeared off the face of the earth somewhere. I believe they're still alive, but I just don't see them out there because I would like to be able to look at some of the people who have been doing this for years and years and see how they're holding up. Do they still look great? Do they still feel great? What's going on with them? And strangely, a lot of them are not around. So let me start with Annie Fio. I read her book, Annie Fio's Raw Food Kitchens, one of my favorite books. I actually have I, I actually have a couple of copies of this book because I think I lost one at some point. I don't remember why, but I have two copies of this book. It's one of my favorite raw food books, and Annie File had been in the raw foods movement for a long time. She was like a big star in the movement, and but I can't find her online anywhere, and I don't know what's happened to her. So let me give you an example. So this is her current status, and it says that she. eh, I just did some searching, okay, on online to see what I could pull up, and I find pictures of people, and AI will put together some type of a profile of a person and talk about what they're doing now, and they don't say that she's gone. My question was, what happened to Annie Fio? That was my question. What happened to Annie Fio? And I did this with a number of people too that I'm going to do in this video. So she sold her business, Smart Monkey Foods, in 2009, ceased operations. But did many things. She was on uh, but she had a number of books. So you can go to Amazon and find a number of her books, but but it doesn't say what actually happened to her. It did say in 2018 she was featured in a Sambazon's Warriors of Change campaign, appearing on billboards and bus stops around Southern Cal, highlighting her work teaching at-risk LA youth how to garden and make food. Okay, great. But I don't know what's going on with her after that time. Okay. Here's her website. And it tells her coaching or wellness coaching. that she had a book signing on February 5th, 2018. I mean, that's years ago at this point. Shows that she was on different shows. Here we have her on the Dr. Oz show. Here we go, right? There we go. With Dr. Oz. And picture of her, holistic nutritionist, internationally renowned, blah, blah, blah. I had heard that I'd read somewhere, I think it's on the internet. I don't know how, if it's real or not, but I heard that she um, went off grid or something. I mean, she must have gone off grid. I don't see her, and I don't know what's the deal with her. Annie, she had some great information in her books. A lot of it sounded very sound to me, at least. She looked great, was going great for a long time. And I'd like to know what she looks like now, how she feels now, what she's doing day to day. Is she still a raw foodist? Does it work for her still? I mean, she was on the program for a long, long time. So, big question mark for me. I would like to know. I think a lot of people would like to know. Um, so, here's her YouTube channel. Here's Annie's YouTube channel. Okay. And here's her videos, health and wellness expert. And if you notice, the last video on here is 11 years old. She hasn't posted a YouTube in 11 years, a YouTube video. I really believe that people, on some moral level, they owe it to us to let us know how they're doing with whatever program they're on, and does it work or not? And is it working for them long term? And if not, what adjustments have they made to make it work for them long term? I think if you're just bowing out, I mean, everyone has a right to do as they wish, but if you're just bowing out and not telling people what's going on, I think you're really doing a great disservice. And maybe if they were to come on, I think probably in the back of my mind, I'm thinking if they feel like they're afraid, if they were to come on and tell us, hey, you know what, raw foods doesn't really work for you. Don't do that. At a period of time, you're going to start feeling these issues because you're going to have these deficiencies. That would be the honest thing to do. But money wise, I think the world is run on money, and they're still selling their books. So Annie Fio is still selling her books on Amazon, and these other people that I'm going to mention are still selling their books on Amazon, and their other things, and their videos, and whatever they've got going. It's going to hurt their income. I'm sure they're drawing income still off of these old books that they're still selling. Obviously they are. Somebody's drawing income off them, and maybe that's what the whole issue comes down to. They're afraid to say, "Hey, this doesn't work," and then no one's going to buy these books anymore. So that's probably it. If you guys have any theories on this, or any of these people I'm going to mention, if you can kind of update me on what they're doing, what they've been talking about, let me know. But we're all looking at the internet, and if we can't pull stuff off the internet, where are these people putting their information? Anyway, all right. So let's go to the next person here. Jennifer Cornbleet is another raw foodist. She wrote a book. Well, here, before I show you this, I'm going to show you her book. And I'm not going to show you all these books I have, but these are some of the best. And this is a very popular book and a very sound book, Raw Foods Made Easy. It's one of her books, and a great book, tasty and seemingly nutritious recipes. What happened to Jennifer Cornbleet? So let's see if we can drill down on this one a little bit and see what's up. Their LinkedIn, at the beginning, at the top here, it shows a LinkedIn. Okay. But I went to this LinkedIn and there's nothing there. So she's on LinkedIn anymore. That one doesn't work for her anymore. It says that she's a meaning and purpose coach. I'm wondering if her meaning and her purpose has changed, or is she still into the raw foods thing? She sold a number of books. Haven't seen anything from her recently. All right, here's her website. Go to learnrawfood.com. It's Jennifer Cornbleet's website. And what do you know? The site can't be reached. It doesn't exist anymore, apparently. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else on her. Here's her YouTube channel, Jennifer Cornbleet's YouTube channel. Jennifer Cornbleet. Here's her YouTube. Here's her face. Happy. Looks fine. This is As of when? This is Learn Raw Food. As of when? How old is this? Well, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to show you this latest video of Jennifer Cornbleet is 7 years ago. So can't get her through LinkedIn. Can't get her on a website. Where did Jennifer Cornbleet go? And again, is this stuff still working for her or not? Inquiring minds would like to know. We'll leave that as another mystery, an unsolved mystery. So I'm going to talk about several people right now who are connected to Marcus Rothkrantz. Marcus Rothkrantz is about, I'm 64 now. Marcus Rothkrantz is about my age, maybe slightly younger, at the most 2 years. But he is a raw foodist who is still around, who does have a YouTube channel, keeps it current, and it looks pretty dang good. So at least he's one guy who is doing well. Now, how much is he doing through add-ons, supplements? You know, he offers a lot of supplements on his website. How much is he just doing from the raw foods themselves, and how much is he needing to supplement with other things to keep his health up? And that's a very good question, and I don't know the answer to that. Here's Marcus Rothkrantz' website, Empowering People to a Better Life. He doesn't look exactly like this now. I saw one of his recent videos, which I'll show you, but he looks pretty dang good for his age, for sure. For a guy who's in his 60s, he looks a lot better than probably 99% of the public for their age. And it shows some of the things that he's doing here on his site. Now I'm going to show you another web page of his online store. Here's his online store. Yeah, I want to show you this. Okay, so his book is called Love on a Plate, is his recipe book, which is, I've got part of that book, and it's pretty solid as far as good raw food recipes. And he has other things too. He has a book that you can download from his website. His website is marcusproducts.com is his website, but you can download a book for free, free ebook called Heal Yourself 101. From what I can tell, okay, I'm a lay person here. I've been fascinated with health and followed health and fitness my whole life, but I'm not claiming to be a professional nutritionist or something. But I can tell you, his book, Heal Yourself 101, rings true to me. It's an excellent book. I think anybody should go at least check his stuff out. You can make up your own mind. But he has a book called Heal Yourself 101 that's free, and you can download it by going to marcusproducts.com. I'm not getting anything from him or any of these people, by the way. So I'm not pushing people's stuff to make some money here. Now, there's another book that I think is, and DVD, I guess he has DVDs, called Free Food and Medicine, but it's also a book. Anyway, that's another one that I have read. Free Food and Medicine is basically, you know, foraging and free food that's just all around you. Even if you're living in an urban environment, there's weeds and all sorts of things that are out there, that especially if you live in rural, but even in urban environments, if you know where to look, there's free food all around you. A lot of it is in the form of things like weeds that people tend to, you know, weed eat and cut up and throw away. People are throwing away stuff that he claims is some of the best nutrition that you can get is through weeds and things like that. So plants, and he knows a lot about it. There's that book has pictures in it. I think it's a great book. The reason I brought up Marcus is to show that, you know, there are people out there that we still know about. But there's also the reason I brought up Marcus is to tell you about people that are associated with Marcus Rothkrantz. Well, let me show you Marcus Rothkrantz, what he looks like today. This is a video that he put out like about a week ago or so. So The Healthy Life is his YouTube channel here. So let me just show you that. I want you to see what Marcus looks like right now.
Here we are again in beautiful Sedona. Life is full of so many wonders that a lot of people.
All right, that was a quickie, but, you can watch more if you really wanna see him, but I just wanted to show you what he looks like now. The guy looks pretty dang good. I know I'm using the word dang. It's the Groucho word of the day here. I've used it 3 times so far in talking about Marcus Rothkrantz. I don't know why. Dang just sounds good because the guy looks good for us, certainly for a guy who's 62 or whatever he is right now. Okay. But the people I'm going to show you here are associated with Marcus Rothkrantz. So one guy's name is Danny Dalton. Danny Dalton is a cab driver. He's a cab driver, or he was a cab driver. And I heard about him through Marcus Rothkrantz, probably on one of his videos or something. He's a raw food bodybuilder. And I've been into bodybuilding a lot during my life. And I just thought it was fascinating. Oh, you could be a into raw food, vegan, and still be a bodybuilder. I found that to be very fascinating. So Danny Dalton's raw food ride. This is something I pulled up when I put the question in, what happened to Danny Dalton, raw food cab driver? He was a cab driver in Las Vegas and also a raw foodist. So he wrote a book called Raw Vegan: Nature's Path to Bodybuilding, which I thought was a good book too. Very simple ideas for eating raw vegan food and still keeping your muscle up to snuff. But I haven't heard anything about this guy in a long, long time. I don't know what happened to Danny Dalton. I would love to know. Every so often, I even put it into a Google search at one point, put it in there, and I had this thing I was putting a search in there and keeping it up to date so that I could see if anything did happen to Danny Dalton, I would get some kind of notification telling me what in the heck. Hey, here he is. We've heard something about Danny Dalton, raw food cab driver. Marcus Rothkrantz on the Healthy Life had did a YouTube on Danny Dalton, all about him, called Raw Food Vegan Bodybuilder Cab Driver Eats No Meat. It's very good. It's really great. And if you're thinking about being a raw food vegan and into that being a bodybuilder, you know, it probably would get you excited. So it's very good. I've seen it this same um, YouTube in many places. So somebody said raw vegan cab driver has a YouTube channel. Okay, great. 11 years ago. Danny Dalton, that's not him. It's somebody else. Here's the guy here. Raw vegan body muscle bodybuilding DVD now available. So look at the guy. He looks he's strong. He doesn't look weak and emaciated or anything like that. So you certainly can eat raw food. And I mean, I think he was proof of that. And not be emaciated, you could build muscle. You can see the guy's got muscle and stuff even right here. But look, this one that Marcus Rothkrantz put out, this video about Danny Dalton, is 14 years old. It's 14 years ago. Okay. What happened to Danny Dalton, raw food bodybuilder, cabbie, who was working in Las Vegas? Okay. Inquiring minds want to know. All right. Let's see. Now, so another person who is associated with Marcus Rothkrantz is Giuliano Brotman. Now, his wife's he wrote a book called, what was it, Raw Food something, and Giuliano Brotman is the brother of Marcus's wife. Okay, but just another guy who pretty much dropped off the face of the earth. Okay, so I asked the question, what happened to Giuliano Brotman? Giuliano was a guy, he went by his first name, Giuliano, who he was a founding father of the raw foods movement, according to this search, ran a quiet cafe in San Francisco's Golden Gate Park, catering to the city's dwindling hippie population. Later moved to Santa Monica. He opened up Giuliano's Raw and raw food restaurant. He wrote a cookbook, which I have, not a cookbook. It's not an actual cookbook because raw foods aren't cooked. Hello. But he wrote a cookbook called Raw, the Uncooked Book, New Vegetarian Food for Life. A very beautiful kind of book, has good information in it. It had a lot of kind of, as I recall, a lot of ingredients that were kind of hard to get. You know, it wasn't the easiest. You just run through your normal store and kind of find all the ingredients there. But it was beautiful to look at a nice picture, had a lot of nice pictures. I'm talking too fast. Um, it's a nice looking book, but how again, and it had some pretty good recipes in it. But again, what happens after a period of time? Is it still good after a period of time? Does it still work? Giuliano, tell me, does this stuff still work? Giuliano was also he's also on X. If you go on X, you can find Giuliano. Here's his X profile. There's no picture of anybody. And it says he's following 20 people and only has 8 followers. So that's not good. I think he should take that down if he cares about how he looks out there. I'm just saying, giving you some free advice, Giuliano. All right. Another thing, Giuliano. Let's see. Here we go. YouTube. Here's Giuliano on YouTube. And so you see some pictures of old. Now, none of these are new though. Giuliano Cuisine, wrap and famous parfaits 9 years ago. And this isn't his own channel. I don't think he had his own channel. Giuliano Brotman and Sheila, Jamaica, blah, blah, blah. 9 years ago, okay? Giuliano talks about sex at Planet Raw 14 years ago. Now, here's one. This lady here, I'm showing you, this woman here is Marcus Rothkranz's wife. And that's the sister of Giuliano. Her name is Kara Brotman. And you see Kara regularly on the Healthy Life videos with her husband, Marcus Rothkranz. So I'm sure she knows what's happened with him, but I had heard he had gone through some issues. I'm not going to get detail because it's kind of secondhand and I don't really know. But I think he has had some issues. See, this one's 7 years old. Giuliano, LA's raw food pioneer. Raw Giuliano, 13 years old, so on and so forth. What happened to these people? Are they still raw foodists? And some of it, if they've dropped out, it may have nothing to do with the fact that raw food may not work over a period of time. It just may be people are people, and people go through all sorts of issues. They could be going through personal issues. They could be going through any number of things. But again, it starts to add up after a while. Why are there so many of these people? And you can name many other people in the raw food movement. I'm sure that you could, you watching this are probably more up to date on the raw food movement than me. I'm not really in it day to day. So there's all sorts of new people. And I've heard of different, there was a lady who was very famous. Can't think of her name, but she's got a foreign name and a very colorful looking books. So there's probably a lot of people out there who are newer. But I'm going to I'm old school, man. I'm talking about the old school people here. People have been around a long time. I got their old books and I want to know what happened to them. And it's just too many of them. I feel like there's just too many of them who have kind of gone out of the picture. And it makes me wonder. All right, now I think I've hit everybody on here I wanted to talk about. There's one other person I wanted to discuss, and that's the juice man, Jay Kordich. And he died at the age of 94. So he's one guy that did this stuff I know for decades because I read his book, The Juice Man, whatever it's called, the Juice Man something or other. It's a little juicing book. It's a good book. And I've listened to some of his material. I've seen his infomercials. Those of you who are older like me used to watch his infomercials where he had that Juice Man juicer. He's the creator of the Juice Man juicer. Whatever happened to Jay Kordich, the Juice Man? It said that he passed, Juice Man passed away on May 27, 2017 at the age of 93. So he got up there. He was one of those guys like Jack LaLanne who lived a good long life, like Paul Bragg, who lived a good long life, who was in this kind of world. I don't know how old Paul Bragg actually was. There's some question about that. The talk was that he died at the age of 95 in a surfing accident, which sounds really cool. Wow, I mean, he was knocked out while surfing. But I've read in other places that they checked his age and he wasn't. There was some question of whether he really was 95. Some people said he was as young as something like 82 or something. Don't quote me, but there is some question as to what age Paul Bragg was when he died. Jay Kordich was a juice man. He was known as the father of juicing. He very excitable guy. He had those eyebrows and everything, and he did die at the age of 93. So that was about 7 years ago at this point. So he's been gone. And his wife, Linda Cordich, was his business partner and co-promoter, and much younger lady, and probably living today. So here's a YouTube channel. Here's his YouTube channel, which is kind of interesting. So Jay Corch's, there's the man. Look at those eyebrows. Classic. Classic eyebrows. So that's still there. It's still on YouTube at Live Foods, Live Bodies, but he's no longer around. He did a video that's still up there with him at the age of 91. Wasn't as spry, obviously, as he looked in the old days, but he did a video that's up there. It's a short one. I hope I'm not out of turn in showing this video. It's still up there. So if somebody doesn't want it up there, they should remove it. Linda Cordich or whoever is in charge of Jay's estate. But here's his the official YouTube site video right here. And little sad to watch right now for Jay. And I hope Linda, his widow, is doing okay. They have kids together and things like that. So I hope they're doing well. And they're probably into the Jay Cordich lifestyle. The juicing and the live foods and things like that. So there are people. There's no question who were there and out there in the raw foods movement who did it for a long time. I would include Jay Cordich in that, the juice man. God rest his soul. But there's a lot of people who were younger and they did their thing and then they're gone. So let me know in the comments what you guys been thinking about this too? I'm sure I'm not the only one. And do you know about any of these particular people, where they are today, why they just kind of left? Are they still into raw foods? Are they still healthy? Are they still doing okay? Or have they just, got into something else? In any case, for more information, you can go to Old School Natural Health, Success, and Freedom, oldschoolus.com, oldschoolus.com. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, got a banner. I might as well use it. All right. But go there for more information. And I've been doing a lot of stuff on freedom lately. Freedom is under attack like never before in the US and worldwide. We may be on the way back to a certain amount of freedom, I hope to God. But nevertheless, it's something that I've been focusing on a lot. I do want to get more and more back into fitness and health and natural health because, hey, once you get to be an older folk like me, you want to start really paying attention. You want to have the right nutrition. You want to be in shape. You want to be able to move. You want to have the mobility. You want to have the strength. You want to have the balance. You want to have the spiritual health. You want the whole package. And I'm going to be doing more and more content on that. So keep an eye on that. And meanwhile, talk to you next time. See you on the next video. And let me know if there's a particular issue or something that you want me to look into that you think is fascinating and needs to be discussed in the world of natural health, success, and freedom. All right. We'll see you next time.